So today now, first on behalf of this program has been organized jointly by Professor Gideon Foundation and BITM. So on behalf of Professor Gideon Foundation, I want to invite Professor Mrinal Kanti, who is the president of this foundation. He is emeritus scientist, University of Calcutta, Department of Biochemistry. So, sir, please deliver your welcome address.
Good morning to everybody. My dear young students, the teachers of the respective schools, our today's speaker, Dr. Mouli Madhab Ghatak, a physiatrist, not physician, I'm telling you, the word is not a general physician. He has something, that's why he is called the physiatrist. At the same time, rehabilitation of the TRA hospitals of Kolkata. The staff members of the BITM Kolkata, especially our Madam Mrs. Aditi Ghosh, the education officer of BITM Kolkata, my members of Ghosh Foundation. It is my pleasure and privilege on behalf of the society, I mean the Ghosh Foundation, and on behalf of myself, to welcome you all in this August gathering of this foundation for the school students. Organized jointly, foundation and the BITM, the council, National Council of the Science and Museum, Government of India, Kolkata. Just prior to the occasion of World Health Day, which will be supposed to be on 7th April 2023. In other words, you can say the occasion on at World Health Eve, I should say. Well, before starting, I'll introduce this society, the foundation. I think it will not be irrelevant if I would ask you a question, to the young students. Do you have in your mind anything to know about the foundations? Do you have any query? Who is Professor J.J. Ghosh? Why so foundation is developed? What's the aim? What's the objective? Do you have anything in your mind? Yes or no? Yes.
Sir, I would like to know about Professor J.J. Ghosh.
Huh?
Sir, I would like to know about Professor J.J. Ghosh.
That's very good. Well, Professor J.J. Ghosh, the full name is Professor Gideon Ghosh. He was our beloved, legendary teacher of teachers and the scientist. of the Department of Biochemistry. In fact, he was a legendary figure at the national level as well as abroad, and he was internationally renowned personally. In addition to his brilliant academic qualifications, achievements, and the other backgrounds, I like to mention some of his unique qualities, which were in fact quite impressed his students at that time, his colleagues, and also his friends and others. The unique quality is what? There's a magical quality of creating a sense of motivation, devotion to duty, inspiration to work, and passion for the subjects among the students, among the colleagues, like a friend, philosopher, and the guide. His another unique quality was blending of knowledge, I mean the scientific knowledge, with the society, with the culture, including one subject with the others. For example, he has a unique character, I mean unique quality. He used to develop the new subject. I think you know the subject like brain. You know the subject like chemistry. Brain composed of what? Brain composed of the neurons, supported by the glial cells. So neurons and the chemistry he joined together and developed a subject called the neurochemistry. And it was happened in the mid-60s of the last century. So that kind of quality of Professor Ghosh. And another quality that you will be surprising, the mathematics. I was really surprised when I used to know, he started a research and developed a school. Not that very long, just in the last century, mid-80s. He started a school, research school, the mathematics with the biology. So biomathematics he develops. And nowadays, the whole world is leading with that subject. And for your information, that neurochemistry subject which was developed by him at the Calcutta with the limited infrastructure that was recognized by the University Grants Commission, and ultimately it was introduced as a course subject in the postgraduate classes, and not only as a choice-based subject nowadays. So that was his quality. In brief, I should say, his dedication was enormous. His contribution was incomparable in the field of biochemistry, neurochemistry, even in the biomathematics in those days in India. And you people, for your information, as you wanted to know, very curious to know about Professor J.J. Ghosh, you could not imagine, during his 34 years of service, he became a mentor of more than 89 scholars, I mean the PhD holders, who did the PhD degree under him. So that was his quality. to honor to such a brilliant, erudite scholar with the students and the admirers, his colleagues also, develops his foundations, and that foundation was named by us as Professor J. Ghosh Foundation. And this foundation as a main objective is to activate your thoughts, not in a unidirectional way, but in a multi-directional way. Because he was a man of that kind. His thought was like a limitless, the sky was the limit of his thought. You don't believe? He never kept himself or confined himself in a particular subject. His spreading, his horizon was quite big. So in that aspect, I should say that you people, being a young student and the budding scientists, that you should think at the very beginning in a multi-dimensional way. I will tell about the speakers also. As I said, he is a physiatrist, something behind that word. Is not like an ordinary physician. I will tell about it. And today's activities is one of the activities or several activities of Professor J. Ghosh Foundation. And every year since 2019, we have been organizing with the collaboration of BITM, Kolkata, to activate your thoughts, to boosting up activate your thoughts. So it is my request, my dear friends, be attentive, concentrate your mind and brain together simultaneously in a multi-dimensional way to activate your thoughts, to activate your activity. With these few words and the introductions, I again welcome you in this August gathering. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your illuminating address. Now, I request Dr. Amit Krishna, who is the former Executive Secretary, Indian Science Congress Association and Honorary Secretary, Indian Science News Association, and member of the Foundation, to introduce our speaker, Dr. Mouli Madhab Ghatak. And I want to also announce that he's accompanied by another psychologist, Shilpi Ghosh Chatterjee. Shilpi Chatterjee. Okay. So thank you. Over to Dr. Amit Krishna.
Thank you, Rini. It's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Mouli Madhab Ghatak. Already our Professor Kundar has given a background of him, and he is the consultant psychiatrist cum neuro-orthopedic and neurometeorologist, rehabilitation. So there is a lot of words in this, and which means, in short, that he is making recovery of the patients who are suffering from neurological disorders, particularly from the related to stroke, paralysis, and so on. And this is a rehabilitation, means you slowly and slowly they are being adapted to the normal life through routine exercises and physiotherapy. I mean, here too much of medicine and drug is not given, but more on the lifestyle function. And he is the founder secretary of Spinal Cord Society of West Bengal and the former member of West Bengal Medical Council, and he is the recipient of State Government Award as Best Individual Working for Disability 2012 and Hero of Kolkata by Times of India. So you may be, I don't know if you are reading newspapers or going through papers and media, you would know him. Occasionally he is there giving us advice on different neurological disorders, and today he has chosen this topic, this important health issue in students, because you know the student is your age is your basis of your future activity, and because of too much of academic career and less of physical activity, lot of diseases are coming up, lot of problems are coming up, because there was a time where we had a playground, big playground in each school, and everybody was forced to participate whether you like it or not and run around. I think that scope is slowly and slowly narrowing. So that is causing lot of problem, and this problem you won't face now at this age, but slowly and slowly in later life this becomes a burden to you. So I would request Dr. Ghatak to come and give your talk. Thank you.
Very good morning to my young students. My heartiest regards and thanks to the authority of the BITM and Professor Ghosh Foundation. Especially Dr. Poddar has given some of my introduction, and Dr. De also has given my introduction. There is a little change of my introduction I would like to show you. I am a physical medicine consultant. I passed my MBBS from Gideon Medical College and did my MD in physical medicine from SSKM Hospital, IPG. And then I was for some period I was in USA and UK and other countries also. So this subject is actually dealing with so many of pain, paralysis and so many of lifestyle disorders, starting from the childhood to old age. And so many of neurological problems also, as mentioned by Dr. Amit Krishna. And also we are the people who actually are very much in clinical practice with such problems of non-communicable disease problems of students also. Because there are so many of people having pain and having various types of lifestyle problems, psychological stress and all these things. So the center which I operate, it is having a psychologist who actually counsels. There are so many physiotherapists, occupational therapists, and dietitian and orthosist, prosthesist, and it is a teamwork, very big teamwork. And I function as the in charge of that. Let us start with my one, two small stories, incidences rather. Some days back, one of your some class 9 student came to my chamber with some stooping posture like this. Okay, she could not actually raise her head like this, and it was terrible pain in the neck, in the back muscles, and everywhere. And when she was entering, and her parent actually gave her introduction, her history, everything, it revealed that there were repeated problems like this. I asked them about, I took the history of the lifestyle of that girl, and which revealed that there was frequent use of a mobile phone, and there was some addiction in the mobile phone, and lying down on the bed for a long period, and taking heavy bags, carrying heavy bags to the school, along with gradually increasing number of books, with water bottle, with food and snacks and all this. So there was heavy strain in the back, and also she was instructed earlier by some other doctor that to avoid all these lifestyle problems and to have regular exercises of the back muscles, which she ignored actually. And she was quite stressed. I told her, why you are in stress? She told, I am in pain, I cannot make myself straight, and at the same time I am having my exam after 10 days. But it was gradually increasing headache in me also. How this small girl can be rescued from this? Because she was very studious and very serious girl, serious student in her class. So I tried my level best, and with some medicines, physiotherapies, laser treatment and all this, gradually that pain was relieved within 5 days. But I instructed her and her parents also to take proper lifestyle measures, what I have mentioned. What are those lifestyle measures that I will, in my lecture, I will gradually tell you all the things. Okay. And also another incident I would like to say you. Another class 11 boy, he came to me with his parents with some sort of peculiar symptom like this. He had the problem of going to the toilet every half an hour, and frequency of urination was there. What happened to him, this young boy? And also he was having pain in his body, throughout the body, and he was stressed. I took the history. It revealed, actually I referred to that boy to my psychologist. She is present here. It revealed actually he was suffering from stressful condition because he could not fight it. He could not fight it more and more, as because his parents' expectation was to be a doctor, and he had to crack this NEET exam successfully, but after came in this line when he had to choose this stream, bioscience stream. He was very much depressed, and out of that depressed mind, when he started his studies and trying to fight back, but he was absolutely getting gradually more depressed, and out of the stress he was behaving like this. It is called somatization syndrome. It is actually, the syndrome is coming from brain. When a person's expectation and reality are far, gap is there, then the person gets stressed and depressed, and some manifestation and expression actually occurs in the physics, in the body. That is called somatization syndrome. The somatization syndrome in certain times is very hard to treat unless the depression and the stress, actual stress, the root of the stress is coming out. So, boys and girls, with these two incidences, I would like to present my lecture in two parts, actually in one part in my views, and to give some highlights and very parallels of your how to be a healthy student, both mentally and physically. And that's why the second part will be on psychology, because how you can fight back in a better way. Okay. Now we start with some I will start with some what is actually health. Why I am telling that you must be healthy. What is actually health? Health is not mere absence of any disease or any ailment, but it is a state of complete physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being. Nowadays that spiritual has been cut out and it is given emotional well-being. Emotions are also important. You should have a fit body, not too fat, bright eyes, good form of all your body systems, and a balanced and sound mind. That is called health. It is actually taken from the WHO definition, Now here I will try to give you some glimpses of some UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report. They have focused on very some particular things like how the mothers and the parents actually act. Attainment of higher levels of education among mothers improves nutrition, vaccination rates, and reduces child morbidity and mortality. Morbidity means the chances of illness. So, here is a point, not for you, but your mothers. Because mother's awareness, when mixed with the teacher's guideline from your school, that becomes actually the most important part. I am giving you a lecture this morning. It will just give you some impression over what is health and how to do. But everyday's guide is your teacher and your mother and your father also. But in our society, the fathers are too busy. You cannot tell anything to them. Health education in school-going children teaches physical, mental, emotional and social health. What is that health education? Nowadays health education, though WHO recommended health for all long back, but till, where is the health education? Health education actually motivates students to improve health, prevent disease and risky behaviors and abuses also. If students are not taught properly how to preserve on health, there will be low levels of education, financial and social burden to all. The disease and addiction, which in turn will erode the society. Sorry, some type mistake is there. Math and reading books and surfing internet for knowledge is essential, but so is our health. Nearly 1.2 billion children are supposed to be school going, means nearly 18% of whole population of the world, and only of which 8% children are of underdeveloped and developing countries. The poor are neglecting their health and education due to poverty and poor livelihood, where the affluent people many times neglect their health. It is important to understand the relationship between health and education, including its effect on economic growth in developing nations like India. Education boosts productivity and technological advancement, and healthy individuals reach expected levels of education more easily. A healthy body and mind always produces better education and growth of the society. These are all report of UNESCO. From this, what we know, that health of the student is one of the very, very important part, rather the root part from where education actually begins. Importance of good health in student life. There is better concentration. If you are healthy, you have better concentration. If you are not healthy, the loss of concentration, attention, stress, and so many of things will come. More focus and improved learning with healthy people. When you are healthy, you feel more confident. So, you have to be healthy before you have to be a very academic student. There is a saying of Swami Vivekananda I would like to say here. It is better to play football than reading Gita. There is a saying, very famous saying, everyone knows. Why he has told all this type of words? Because unless you are healthy enough, fit enough, and you can fight, your physique, your body is not permitting, you cannot attain your goal in academics. Now I will give you a just small introduction of what are the diseases during the student life. There may be communicable disease. You know, the corona has given us a very big thrust in our society, in our education, in our economy, everywhere. So viral infection comes at the first, like COVID, influenza, and right now the adenovirus. Just now, adenovirus was threatening us with the children's problem. Cold, cough, fever, and all this, dengue, malaria, all this, IBS, diarrheal diseases, food and water poisoning, chickenpox, herpes simplex, measles, hepatitis, all these communicable diseases, infectious diseases, are more common in the students because when in the classroom one person is sneezing in the open air, that may infect at least 5 to 7 students at a time if he or she is not properly protected with mask. So the infection rate is very high in the schools. Even it is true for for influenza, adenovirus, and all kinds of viral infections which are going through droplet infection like this sneezing, coughing, and all this. The cold, cough, fever also like this. Dengue and malaria, if the school is having good number of mosquitoes, then the problem will also come. Amoebiasis and diarrheal disease, food poisoning and water poisoning in the school, and you have every habit of taking a part of your friend's food also. Sometimes you enjoy it also, and there may be some poisoning from one to another. Chickenpox, herpes simplex, and all these things are very, very infectious. So, what is to be done? Whenever we will see that one person is affected with such kind of viral infection or any kind of other infection, he should be isolated, he should take leave from the school, and from the authority, he or she must be instructed not to come to the school. And even if he comes, then you, the other students, your fellow students, you must be very much aware of that infection and should take proper precaution like taking mask and washing your hands properly and taking a bit distance from that student. There are so many of non-communicable diseases like asthma, very childhood asthma are very common in our country. Anemia is there, particularly in females. If you have, there may be of various causes, you have to consult your doctor for why, for which reason the anemia is coming. Injuries are very frequent, injuries in different parts of that I will come later on. And accidents, obesity, the childhood obesity is on the very high peak. Congenital diseases, diabetes can also occur in childhood, which is called type 1 diabetes. And cancer, like leukemia and others. And so many of rheumatic fever and other GRA like juvenile rheumatoid arthritis may also occur. And there may be some kidney problems because of some nephrotic syndrome. Nephrotic syndrome usually occurs in the early childhood. So all these diseases may be there in your student life. How we can prevent communicable disease that I have already mentioned here. That you must be aware of the infection as because you may be the carrier also. You may not suffer even, but you may be the carrier. You will give some snitches to your family and your parents and other persons who may be infected from that also. So be very much cautious about it. Let's come in the obesity part because nowadays the childhood obesity is a very common problem. Here you can see body mass index. You know what is body mass index? Anyone can? BMI. Okay. So BMI, actually the weight in kg divided by height square actually in meter. Okay. So if you are with that BMI, calculation of BMI, you can also assess whether you are in a correct weight or not. Okay. You are maintaining the correct weight according to your age or not. Okay. If your BMI is below 18.5, then you are underweight. If your BMI is 18.5 to 24.9, you are in normal weight. Okay? And if your BMI is more than 30 to 34, then you are overweight and obesity has come. And if your BMI is more than that, so like around 40 or that, you are very, very overweight. Okay, obesity has come to you. Okay, so this is the normal weight you should be according to your height is from 18.5 to 24.5. You can calculate it yourself also. kg in your weight by height square in meter. Fat mass index is another quantification as because BMI is gradually being obsolete and it is coming. This will be a bit tougher for you. Let us go in the next slide. There is a height weight chart also available. Okay. For the male and the female also. See, if your height is 5.5, then your ideal body weight must be between 55 to 68. Okay. In the males, and the females, if you are 5 foot 2 inches, then your ideal body weight is 45 to 55. So there is a chart, it can be available. Now coming to the obesity, what are the causes of obesity in students? Mostly the cause of obesity is genetic, it is coming from your family actually. And you are expecting that I will tell you that you are taking more junk food. You are expecting like this? No, I will not tell you like this. I will tell the exact things. And in most of the cases there are some diseases inside, like some sort of nephrotic syndrome. It is a kidney problem for which long use of steroids are there. So if you take steroid medicine for a long period, you will be weak. If you are a hypothyroid, you may be obese. If your family members, say one of your parents or relatives, blood related, in blood relation, parents, brothers, sisters and all this, you may have obesity. And another is also that you were expecting that yes, taking nowadays the dietary habit has been changed, and I will not accuse the diet only, but I will also accuse the physical inactivity, because nowadays Dr. Dev was telling that actually in our country, not in our country, all the countries, even in UK and US also, their physical inactivity in the students are very much observed because lack of that culture of going to the sports, the outdoor sports, the regular exercises and all. What is the treatment of it? Treatment is treat the problem. Treat the problem. Treat the problem like hypothyroid is to be treated. If you are a chronic steroid user, the steroid is to be avoided. And if you are physically inactive, you have to go through regular exercises and change your diet, change your lifestyle, change your setup, schedule of your life, everything. And prevention is like this, that prevention doesn't only means that you will change yourself only, but the society where you live, you have to change that also, because your friends, you have to ask your friends, you have to ask your parents and your family members to change the environment, because changing the diet, changing the exercise pattern, setting the schedules of various occasions and lifestyle modification, those actually should be in group, not by a single individual. PCOD, are you acquainted with this term? PCOD, you know? Anyone knows? Raise your hand. Yeah. PCOD, it is a, yes. Young girls are affected. PCOD is polycystic ovarian disease, which may be because of some endocrinal problems, hormonal problems, but it's cure, it's prevention, it's cure. It's not in the hand of the doctor because there is no medicine for it. Actually, ovary is having so many of cysts there. Cysts means small bags of water. Ovary is filled up with small bags of water. This may be because of higher androgen in your body or some other causes also. Genetic causes are also there. And it is found that mostly those who are taking high calorie foods, junk foods, and more fatty food, and reduced in a physical activity, those are mostly affected by this. So the females, so the girls, you have to be very much cautious because nowadays the PCOD, this age is for PCOD, and once the PCOD is formed, it is very hard to treat. Not very hard to treat, it is in your hand only, not in the doctor's hand. You have to regularly exercise, very vigorous type of exercise like running and going for several outdoor and power game sports and all this, dancing like this, and taking very bland type of diet that can gradually regress the PCOD problem. Now, I was telling you about exercise. Yeah. What is the benefit of exercise? Can you tell anything about what is the benefit of exercise in your body? Have you felt any day that when you are exercising or running or any sort of having some game, outdoor game, what changes you feel in your body, in your mind? What changes? You feel more strengthy, more strong. Anything? You feel, yes? Tell me. 1%.
Our mind is fresh, becomes fresh.
Yes.
Very positivity, a lot of positivity.
Yes. Yeah. That answer is correct because when you are exercising or going for sports, then the huge amount of blood circulation, the pumping of the heart is there, and fresh circulation actually goes every cells in your body, which stimulates when it goes to the brain. That same circulation is going to your brain. Few minutes earlier, Professor Poddar was telling about the neurons, neurochemistry, that chemical reaction in the neurons is improved, biochemical reactions, and these from brain, one happy hormone is released that is called endorphin. Okay. And that endorphin is a happy hormone. Whenever you are running, jogging, that happy hormone starts releasing after 5 minutes. And that makes you very cool, calm, very positive outlook is there, and you can enjoy your life more that time. Okay. So this is one of the biggest benefit for you, all the students. Because if you are positive, if your brain is working good, that I will feel that every maths which you last night you could not solve, that math has been solved. Because your function of the brain is improved. What other benefits are there? Like you can have a very good muscular and fit body. Your physical fitness will improve. We are actually in this age. What is happening? There is a schedule which is already set. Wake up in the morning, take your breakfast, go to your school, and 7 hours, 8 hours in the school, and then coming back, then you are exhausted, drained, and you lie down and having sleep. Or some people have their mobile, they started surfing internet, WhatsApp, and blah blah blah, all these things. Ground, football ground or tennis ground or anywhere. That time we didn't have any table tennis, we didn't have any very decorated parks or like this. But I can remember one thing. Before my class 10 final exam, I was from a village actually. From the first day's subject was Bengali, and I taught myself that unless and until I am exercising, and I felt it also, that I would not be able to perform good. So just day before that exam, correctly after 4:30 in the afternoon, I closed all my books and I just started running. And सीधा एकदम ground में चला गया, ठीक है? Went to the ground and started playing football. My family members was having shock. What these boys doing? And when I came back at 5:30, my mother was very annoyed and reproved my ear. You sit here, you must be failed in your exam. Yes, but I have to perform with my full brain levels, full brain neurochemical things. And that time I felt that what type of energy, what type of very good sense of freshness was there unless and until I am not exercising. So these are all the benefits of and this the feet. And if you want to avoid bodily pain, if you want to avoid depression, if you want to stress, if you want to obesity, you have to exercise. The regular form of exercises. You have to make some time. Change your schedule, your lifestyle. At least every day for half an hour you have some power exercises or power games. If you have some table tennis at your place, it is also a very good exercise. If you have any sort of lawn tennis there, if you have any football ground, any form of exercise do. Or otherwise, even you can dance even with your preferred music for say half an hour. Where to do it and when to do it. When to do it, I do not know. You have to set your schedule. Because maybe early in the morning, okay, if you change your lifestyle like this, nowadays what you do, up to 1:30 at night, up to 2 at night, you are involved in your reading or with your mobile, anything. change this schedule at one point. You be confident that I'll change it. Sharp at 10:30 you lie down, go to sleep, and sharp at 6 wake up. And after 6:30 to 7 or 7:30 you have exercises or running in the sun. The soft sun is there. Okay. That will also give you some benefit. Types of exercise I have already told you. Diet. The recent trend of diet, but nowadays what I see, what we see, the students and their parents are gradually becoming more health conscious. And so, say 10 years back or 5 years back, what was there, that taking huge amount of junk food was a habit of all the students. So right now that trend is a bit in lower side, because most of you gracefully trying to avoid all this high calorie junk food. What sort of, even if you are compelled or obliged to have this junk food at your school or anywhere else along with your friends or in your family, what is to do? Then you choose some kind of special diet, say like salads, green salads, okay, veg sandwich, and you try to very cautiously you try to avoid the cheese, this mayonnaise and all these fatty contents. The fat content, actually the cheese is having very big amount of fat, and that is not helpful to us anymore. Cheese is having some vitamin D, but you collect your vitamin D from some other sources, from medicines, from sun and all this, but not from the cheese. Okay. What are the immunity boosting? Because it is very relevant after the colonization. What are the immunity boosting things? Say, do you take turmeric? Take turmeric? Raw turmeric. Make your habit to take raw turmeric. Make your habit to take ginger, garlic, spinach, all this, and also the seafood, sea fats, seafood fat. Those are immunity boosters. There are so many of other lists, but in some other nutrition classes you will take all these things. Growth stimulating means you have to take more amount of protein and carbohydrate. There should be a balance among the carbs and the protein and the fat. Because in early childhood, so below 6 years, you need more amount of fat to develop your brain and neurons. So there should not be any curtail of fat. And after that, you have to curtail your fat gradually and increase the amount of protein, as because you are growing child. Every day your muscle is being formed. So more amount of protein, more amount, and carbohydrate according to your activity level. If you are physically inactive, if you have this sedentary lifestyle, then you take less amount of carbohydrate. But protein needs to be there because the growth of the muscle and the other cells are there by the protein. And more or less it should be a balanced diet. The carbohydrate, protein, and fat along with minerals, vitamins in good amount. Vitamin C is to be taken more amount of citrus fruits like lemons, oranges and all this. These are to be actually green vegetables and fruits. These must be included in your everyday diet, and very good amount of this green vegetables and fruits will give you more amount of immunity and function of your body, including function of your all tissues of your body. So these must be there. Now I come to the posture and lifestyle. Do you know how many bones you have? How many bones you have? 206. Yes, correct. Do you know how many joints you have? Joints mean where one bone is attaching another bone, like knee joint, elbow joint, shoulder joint, joints of the hand, these fingers and all this. How many joints you know? There's 360 joints in your body. 360 joints. Do you know how many muscles are there in your body?
650.
Sorry?
650 approximately.
650. Yes. 650. Okay. So why the Creator has given you all these things? The muscles, joints, all. It is to use, not to keep all these joints and muscles idle. So our human nature is to use these joints and muscles. How? That I have already told something. And again I will tell you more. So every time when you are sitting that your schedule is like this, going to your school and at a stage long 8 hours or 7 hours you are sitting on your chair with folded knees, with some of the schools are also not having chairs, they are having some benches, so there is not even a back support. So with this folded knees and this sitting posture for 8 hours at a stretch, but then what are the sitting muscles? Few muscles are working. Among these 650 muscles, only a few muscles are working when you are sitting. What about the rest of the muscles? They will not work. And what about the muscles who are making you sick? The muscles who are making you sick, they will be stressed, they will be strained. And gradually, every day, if you follow this schedule, what will happen? These muscles will start betraying. Okay? If you use some part of the body for a long period and not using the other part, then there must be some betray from the used muscles and the joints also. So use all of your joints and muscles. It should be a balanced one. Like balanced food, it should be a balanced one. So lifestyle, all your lifestyles, when you are carrying this heavy weighty bag there, you are using the back muscles, the shoulder muscles, back muscles more, straining over that, and that gradually betrays. So you have to exercise before going to do. Our cricketers and footballers, what they do before going for any match, they are having some warm-up exercises. Why they do? Because you have to prepare your muscles for taking the strains, develop more reflexes, and strengthen your muscles, and there and muscles to enrich more oxygen, more food materials in every tissues, every cells of your muscles, so that those muscles can be ready for taking the strain. Okay. But your back muscle is not ready for taking the strain of regularly sitting for 8 hours. You have not trained your back muscles. You have not trained your neck and back muscles for carrying this heavy weight every day. So those muscles have to be properly trained and exercised regularly. Okay. So that should be your lifestyle. And what should be your postures? Most of the back pain nowadays, and for your information, most of the back pain, nearly 95% of the low back pain in these days are actually dynamic pain, is mechanical pain. It is not from any sort of disease. Disease means like spondylosis, like some sort of arthritis, some bone problems, some muscular disease. No, not because of that. It is only mechanical pain, because your body mechanics is in defect. You are not training your muscles properly. That's why the pain is coming. If you train your muscles to carry the weight, you can carry the weight very easily. So every day you have to go for some exercises of the back, knees, neck, shoulder, and all this. Okay. And while sitting, you see, what should be your posture? You are sitting in this chair. This chair should have some lumbar support, back support in the low back region, say like a pillow or some thing is to be put there, because our lumbar spine, means the lower spine area, is having a naturally bent or like this. Our spine is like this. This part is a bit towards anterior side. So this is like this. The middle part, the thoracic part, is having like this, and the lower part is having somehow in the forwardly curved. This is a normal spine. So you have to help that normal spine while you are sitting for a long time. Those computer users, those IT sector people, what they're doing? You are sitting for 7 hours, 8 hours. They are sitting for 12 hours, 13 hours, 18 hours even. So most of them are having this back pain, and very serious kind of back pain. So you have to give some lumbar support there in order to make your lumbar region, this region, low back region, a bit forwardly curved. Okay. So this should be your posture. When you are at your bed, how do you sit? Some of your students are habituated with sitting on the beds, reading on the beds. Reading on the bed while leaning forward, what will happen? There will be strain in the back region. So try to avoid it. So have some exercises. Some chair must be there where some kind of lumbar support or pillow is there, and then only you sit there for time, particular time. And only every half an hour to 1 hour you have to stand up, and you have to walk at least 1 minute. You have to have some stretching of your back area like this and like this, and this will give you to protect your problems. So the other things like injuries and accidents, you know what type of injuries are in students. Injuries in the road traffic injuries, a mobile addict person having low sleep at night are mostly from the students and in the other community also. They are mostly vulnerable in these days for accidents and injuries. Types of injuries, it may be minor, major and moderate. Treatment is like this. One treatment I like to highlight with, I have to make it short. Whenever you are having some injury in your hand or leg or anywhere else, you just note it down. It's a treatment, the immediate treatment in your hand, you cannot find any doctor that time. Immediate treatment is rice, R-I-C-E, chowl, R-I-C. R means you have to give the rest of that part. Okay. Next is I means icing. Okay. Giving ice and cold application that area. And C is crepe bandaging or tightly bandaging some compression bandaging. And E is elevation of that limb. Elevation means you have to make it in a punch. Okay. Say in the ankles, in the knees, in the hands and all this. Okay. So immediately what you can do is rise treatment. Okay. Raise, ice, crepe bandaging and elevation of that part of the body. Okay. Only this thing is to be done. Then you go to a doctor. Habit of OTC medicine. Have you heard the name of OTC? OTC is over the counter, okay? OTC over the counter. You are having some migraine like a thing. दादा एक तो पैरासीटामोल दीजिए तो taking that medicine from the medicine shop. This is called OTC medicine, and there is a habit, huge habit of our people, even in your parents also. There is a habit of taking this OTC medicine. Try to avoid all this, because what medicine you are taking, it is in the hand of that pharmacy people. It is not coming from a doctor. It is not recommended by a doctor. And what kind of bad effects it can create you do not know. I have seen one pain was there in the hand, and that counter was giving him some steroid with some paracetamol, painkiller. Okay, painkiller with steroid is giving. This discrete use of steroid is also there, as because that counter actually makes himself more buzzer friendly, people friendly. Okay, so I've got mobile and screen time. You know the bad effects, I think. One thing just I would like to say, that eat mobile for a long period to use, what it can cause? It can cause loss of concentration, attention, loss of interest in the body. You are always in the virtual world. So the real world is something different from the virtual world. What happens? There is reduced sleep, and it gives you, it can take you in another somewhere virtual world where even you cannot feel any sort of adventurous, any sort of very recreating places. mobile has so many of good effects also. We can exchange our information on the place. Only for that reason you use your mobile. And you have to be very much confident, you have to be very much promising to reduce the mobile use. Okay, that is your part, you have to take care of this. Then how to maintain good health? Having a balanced diet, having plenty of water, at least more than 3 liters of water, having proper sleep at night, reducing screen time, regular exercise, meditation and yoga. Okay, these are some glimpses. So now, this is my last slide. Take home message is, wake up early. So set your schedule in a healthier way. Wake up early. Take deep breath. You know pranayama? Yeah. Yeah. You take deep breath through your nose and exhale it gradually. And exhale all negativity with that, and inhale all positivity inside you. Exercise is as important as reading your book. Run in the soft sun, not in the midday sun in your school. We do not know what amount of vitamin D will be produced by the sun which is reaching our metropolitan city like Calcutta, because it is a polluted city. There are so many of layers in the atmosphere. So, but early in the morning, if you can afford, in the soft sun may produce some amount of vitamin D in your skin that will give you better benefits. You know, vitamin D is not good for your bone also only. It is good for all your systems of your body, even in the endocrine system, hormonal system, all the enzymatic functions, all your cellular functions are regulated by vitamin D. So you had to be, so get vitamin D checked up every year and take vitamin D medicines and the foods which are rich in vitamin D, and also have some exposure to sun. See the great sky rather seeing movies, surfing internet. Change your posture of reading, sitting and lying. Reduce the weight of your back. Reduce mental burden, as you are the creator of that thing. If your body is the temple, your mind is the God. So that God is in the temple. You have to regulate your mind. You have to control your mind. The mind will give you everything. Reduce mental burden. Avoid lying for long hours. Sleeping up to 9 in the morning. Try to avoid. Stop accusing. Rather ask yourself. Your friends are sometimes in fight. You are accusing that person and he is accusing you. Stop accusing. Rather, ask yourself what has happened actually. But from my part, what is the problem? Then everything is very calm and good. Talk less and laugh more. If you talk more, there will be some odd talks that can create some problem. And laugh more is because the laugh induces your well-being, your positivity. Avoid headphones, headphones. Why the headphones? Nowadays a trend is there that you taking your headphone and very loudly it is going on all the time. Some chit-chat. It's going on like this. This headphone, what creates? it is hitting in your brain, and that can create so many of problems like deafness. You cannot even listen in the eye. Yes, that can create some problem in your brain also. Mobile use can induce some sort of cancerous problem. It is already proved. If you keep your mobile in your head side while you are going to sleep at night, there is a chance, 8 times more chance of having some brain cancer in after 20 years. Okay, so mobile phone is to be kept at least more than 1 foot distance from your head. Okay, listen more music. Okay, amusing music, and exercise and exercise. These are all for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ghatak, for your illuminating lecture. Now, on behalf of Professor Ghosh Foundation, Dr. Ghatak will be felicitated by Dr. Dr. Mukherjee with memento. So, sir, please come on the dais. And also a plant. Next, I would request only for a few minutes, due to scarcity of time, I want to request Shilpi Chatterjee, psychologist, to just, you please, Shilpi Chatterjee, you may, due to scarcity of time, you may deliver your lecture within few minutes, because all are waiting for the quiz. Thank you.
Good morning and namaskar to all. I'm very privileged to be the part of this program celebrating 75th World Health Day. My subject is mental health. So, the first point, and I want to discuss about self-insight, understanding ourselves, be functioning. Carl Roger, an eminent psychologist who developed personality theory on the basis of self, and I am here to discuss this self theory on this particular. So, self-insight, that is understanding ourselves and be functioning. From the very first day of my birth, of our birth rather, we start interacting with the environment and we experience a lot. Many events, incidents happens in our life. And the impact of those incidents has a great influence on us. So, very crucial word, that is stress. we are facing stress, and when we are facing stress, two significant words come up, and that is, those significant words are optimistic, be optimistic, and maintain coping mechanism. In Bengali, there is a line that ঢাল নেই তলোয়ার নেই নিধিরাম সর্দার, because there is no equipment but we have to struggle. Why? And for that I want to discuss about self. Some crucial elements of self. Some element of self. What is this? That is self-concept. What is this? Self-concept with origins in our childhood and depends upon the significant persons around us. What type of treatment they provide for us on the basis of our appearance, our achievement, and our ability. So this is learned. Self-concept is learned, but this is the core of our personality development and which have far-reaching effect in our life. Research indicates that adjustment following various sorts of traumatic events is best for those who can envision many different positive selves. Lack of the ability may devastating. Here envision, I am trying to explain my discussion to develop this envision. Carl Roger, that eminent psychologist, said that self is the most important aspect in our life, and every day we are facing a few different stresses, from simple hassles of daily life to our academic pressure, our work-related pressure. So this type of pressure makes stress. Then what happens? According to Carl Rogers, here happens that self-ideal discrepancy, simple emotional upsetting to more dangerous consequence. Then what happens? We need some equipments. We are not Nidhiram Sardar. We need some equipments, and I want to discuss those equipments. There is some cognitive buffer against mental as well as physical illness, and that is self-complexity. And what is that? The first is self-awareness, a state of consciousness in which we focus our attention inwards upon ourselves. Here I want to say something. Choking under pressure. What happens when we doing something, facing audience, facing anything? That time our self-awareness increases, and when our self-awareness increases, we thought many things. We are engaged in thinking our present standard with our ideal self. And if there is some discrepancy, gap, then emotional upsetting to dangerous consequence may happen. That time, our private awareness, we become so conscious that our private awareness gets conflicted with our social awareness, because social awareness totally depends our society. What type of judgment we will get. Self-focusing. What is that? Okay. I'm getting nervous to complete the discussion earlier. With the help of self-focusing, self-monitoring, and self-evaluation, we can become equipped to prevent the dangerous consequence. By minimizing the gap or discrepancy, we can shape up whenever we are engaged in comparison our internal standard to our recent situation. That time gap begins, and if we want to shape up, that means changing our thought and action to fit more closely with our standard. Then we will get rid of that problem. If you shift out, that means stop thinking about ourselves and we are falling short of our own internal standard. If at that time, if our consciousness is motivated by curiosity, what does it mean? Curiosity is that to know you more, to know you better. Because you know what are you, what your internal standard, and how you are equipped. That is, you know your better. And if you are motivated by fear, that means your perceived shortcomings, your losses, etc., then you will not get rid of this problem. You can manage the situation and you will become disturbed. So, okay, thank you very much.
Token gift from the foundation, and now all of you are waiting for the quiz, and I'm just inviting Ghosh of BITM to conduct the quiz now. Over to Aditi.